According to the information here, they said Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, his supporters, and the IPOB Nigeria Limited called a party and they are celebrating over the ordeal of Simon Ekpa in Finland. Hear the news in details and also the headlines that follows it. IPOB and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and also supporters celebrate Spanish court 6-year sentence for Simon Ekpa. IPOB response to Simon Ekpa's ordeal in Finland. That is what we are going to read. And then after reading it finish, we'll come back here for more discussion over this matter. Ndị Igbo na-eme onwe ha. Ndị Igbo fọrọ onwe fa n'anya. Yes, ana bụ giri. Okay. Bello Tunji, his people love him up till tomorrow, even despite all the atrocities. I'm not saying that we should support Simon Ekpa if he is against the Biafran struggle or if he is fighting the Biafrans. But how can you justify this? That somebody who went to Finland and declared Biafra, who organized everything before he was being taken out, because they know that if he was present and the Biafra was declared, it's going to be another big problem for the zoo and their counterpart Finland. So they took him out and then jailed him 6 years. You people were celebrating that Simon Ekpa is doing this, Simon Ekpa is doing that. And Simon Ekpa have been out there for 9 months. The killings in our land multiply. But I didn't see, I know they say DOS again celebrating. Current Simon Ekpa for all the insecurity that's happening. So the killings now, who is behind it? Maybe we should hold the DOS or whoever they call themselves, IPOB Nigeria, responsible for all the killings, because they know something about it. Since Simon Ekpa is out of the way, nobody see them again. They're not doing anything. They're not even calling his name again. And the killings continues. So who is killing our people? Let us read this news, please. I woke up today with a very heavy heart, because that is the yesterday judgment it is never what I expected. But what can we do? Supporters of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, please help me to share this video. And their incarcerated leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, have shown great joy in response to the Biafran District Court's ruling in Finland, which sentenced Simon Ekpa, the self-styled Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, to 6 years in prison for offenses related to terrorism. This decision, announced on September 1st, 2025, has been celebrated by IPOB supporters as major triumph, with accusations directed at Ekpa for blackmailing and compromising the Biafra movement through his reckless and violent activities. Simon Ekpa, a 40-year-old activist of finest Nigerian descent, became a contentious figure within the Biafran freedom movement after he aligned himself with the IPOB in 2021. Asserting that he was a follower of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who has been in detention by Nigerian authorities since June of 2021. Nevertheless, conflicts emerged as Ekpa's approach significantly deviated from the leadership of IPOB in April of 2023. Ekpa proclaimed himself the leader of the Biafra Republic government in exile, a breakaway faction, and commenced issuing calls for sit-at-home protests, lockdowns, and the establishment of armed groups such as the Biafra Defense Forces. These actions, which included alleged incitement to violence against both civilians and security forces in Nigeria's southeast, prompted IPOB to publicly renounce Ekpa, labeling him a double agent, intent on undermining IPOB's genuine movement. The Biafran District Court's ruling has sparked widespread celebration among IPOB members and the Kanu supporters, who view Ekpa's conviction as a vindication of their long-standing accusations against him. A man powerless, the media and publicity secretary of IPOB, issued a statement calling the ruling a triumph of justice and a blow to imposters sabotaging our liberation struggle. powerfully treated that Ekpa's action, including his calls for violence, were never sanctioned by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or IPOB's leadership. Accusing him of being a paid agent of the Nigerian government tasked with sowing chaos in Biafra land on X, supporters of Kanu and the IPOB flooded timelines with celebratory posts. One user at Biafran Rising wrote, "Finland has done what Nigeria couldn't, putting Ekpa in his place. His fake Biafra agenda only brought suffering to our people. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains our true leader." Another user, Igbo Voice for Freedom, posted, "Ekpa's reign of terrors is over. This is a win for the true Biafran's cause. Hashtag Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now." These sentiments reflect a broader narrative among supporters that Ekpa's activities provided a pretext for Nigerian security forces to intensify crackdown on IPOB and innocent civilians in the southeast. Prominent pro-Biafra activists, such as human rights lawyer Ifeanyi Ejiofor, also welcomed the verdict. Ejiofor, who is the IPOB lawyer, stated on X, "Simon Ekpa's conviction confirms what we have said all along. He was a fraudster, masquerading as a freedom fighter. His actions caused untold hardship to Igbo. Let this be a lesson to others exploiting our struggle for personal gains." The conviction has been seen as turning point for IPOB, which has struggled to maintain its legitimacy amid Ekpa's high-profile violent activities. Supporters hope the ruling will refocus attention on Kanu's detention and the broader Biafran cause championed by IPOB, which they argue has been overshadowed by Ekpa's violent rhetoric. Some, like Southeast-based activist Chika Nwosu, expressed relief that the verdict could reduce insecurity in the region, stating Ekpa's so-called sit-at-home orders only enriched criminals and scared investors. Now, we can rebuild and rally for Kanu's release. However, not all reactions were unified. A small faction of Ekpa supporters, led by figures like Ngozi Orabweze, condemned the finest court decision, calling it a conspiracy between Finland and Nigeria to suppress Biafra aspirations. Posts on X from accounts like Biafra Forever 2025 claim Finland has betrayed Simon Ekpa, our prime minister. This won't stop Biafra rise. These voices, however, remain a minority and compared to the dominant pro-IPOB sentiments celebrating the verdict. Moving forward, IPOB's reactions to Simon Ekpa's imprisonment, a strategic triumph for Biafra's global relevance. The Biafran struggle, a decades-long quest for self-determination in Nigeria's southeastern region, has transcended local sentimentality to become a global political movement. The recent imprisonment of Simon Ekpa by Finland's Paget Heme District Court for terrorism-related charges has spotlighted the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and its commitment to non-violence. IPOB's sweet disassociation and celebration of Ekpa's 6-year sentence for inciting terrorism, participating in a terrorist organizations, and financial crimes is not just a tactical victory. It is a masterstroke that counters Nigeria's narrative and reinforces Biafra's relevance on the world stage. To maintain this global presence, IPOB must double down on its peaceful advocacy, outsmart its adversaries, and seize the moment to redefine the Biafra struggle. Simon Ekpa, a former athlete and local politician in Finland, emerged as a self-styled autopilot Biafra leader after 2021 abduction of IPOB's Nnamdi Kanu. Operating from Lahti, Finland, Ekpa used social media platforms like X to issue sit-at-home orders from the violent Biafran Liberation Army and claim leadership of an IPOB autopilot faction. His actions including alleged incitement of attacks on civilians and security forces in Nigeria's southeast, led to his arrest on November 21 of 2024 and subsequent conviction. The finest court ruled that Ekpa orchestrated terrorist activities from abroad, leveraging his 800,000 plus followers, making a rare case of a Western nation prosecuting a diaspora figure for foreign violence. IPOB's response was unequivocal. The Media and Publicity Secretary of IPOB, Imam Powerless, declared Ekpa has never been a member of the global IPOB family, accusing him of being a Nigerian government agent tasked with tarnishing their peaceful campaign for a united supervised Biafran referendum. During Ekpa's trial, both IPOB and Ekpa testified under oath, with Ekpa denying any former ties, calling himself a content creator, which is lie. IPOB held a verdict at judicial validation, with supporters on X at IPOB Zurich celebrating it as a cleanup of government-sponsored chaos. They accused Nigerian media and authorities of falsely presenting Ekpa as IPOB's leader to dent Biafran's image, a narrative IPOB swiftly dismantled. A killer dose to Nigerian propaganda. The Nigerian government and its media allies have long labeled IPOB a terrorist organization, a designation the global community and IPOB rejects, emphasizing IPOB as a non-violent self-determination movement. By portraying Ekpa as IPOB's leader, Nigeria sought to justify crackdowns on Biafran activists and discredit the movement globally. IPOB's celebration of Ekpa's imprisonment is a killer dose to this strategy. It exposes Nigeria's alleged sponsorship of Ekpa to provoke violence, undermining IPOB's peaceful ethos. By aligning with finest court's findings, IPOB not only clears its name but also shifts the spotlight to Nigeria's tactics, including the illegal detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This move resonates globally, where misinformation can sway perceptions of freedom movement. IPOB's proactive stance, calling out media outlets like the BBC and appealing to European Union, United Nations, US, UK, and Finland, position it as a survey player in international politics. The last, but not the least, according to them, they say by rejecting violence and exposing alleged sponsored state sabotage, IPOB outmaneuvers its adversaries, positioning itself as a legitimate player in international politics. The Biafran struggle has indeed grown beyond local sentimentality. It is now a global cause, demanding proactive, peaceful advocacy. As IPOB refocuses on Nnamdi Kanu's trial, it must seize this moment to unite supporters, engage the world, and keep Nigeria on the defensive. The message is clear. To stay relevant, Biafra must outthink its enemies and champion peace on the global stage. And this call for the end of this news. What have you to say? Please drop it at the comment section. Are you happy about the judgment? Or are you celebrating the same way Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the supporters are celebrating over Ekpa's ordeal? Please drop it at the comment section. Until I come your way again, I still remain Ukute Daily Talk. Kemesiano.